since the Big Book came out in 1939? The original reading was in that 12th step, having had a spiritual experience as the result of working these steps. And the Board of Trustees was afraid as AA was growing, and now a man named Jack Alexander in 1942 was going to do a national, write an article about AA and what was happening in AA in a national magazine. And they knew they were going to get swamped and they were going to get out to a whole lot more people. And they didn't want to sound like a cult. So the Board of Directors, the Board of Trustees, talked Bill, and it was a struggle for him. Again, going from selfishness to humility, it was a struggle to change the word from having had a spiritual experience to having had a spiritual awakening. And of course, that's what happens as we begin to work the steps. We have any number of spiritual awakenings. Okay, the question is though, how? What do working the steps have to do with spiritual awakenings? Especially since spiritual awakenings and spiritual experiences are, according to the founders, the only solution to the problem, which is spiritual bankruptcy. How does it work? Well, let's say that you look at the steps. Step 1, 2, and 3 are about, if you'll excuse this athletic analogy, it's about getting in the box and you get all set and you knock the dirt out of your cleats and you're ready to go. Step 1, 2, and 3 is here's the foundation. Again, it's based on there has to be a power greater than ourselves. It doesn't tell you who God is, but you can't be God. There has to be a power greater than ourselves, or we will never break out of the spiritual prison, the spiritual bankruptcy that is our problem. So the first 3 steps, sometimes described, I can't, God can, so I let him. Or her, whichever. But that's how it gets started. All right, now that the foundation is there, again, as the founders saw it, it's this spiritual surrender to a power greater than ourselves. Then where does the program go? What's step 4? And step 4 doesn't say, all right, now you're ready, go to college and get a degree in sociology. Does it? Step 4 doesn't say, now go to college and get a degree in business so you can found all kinds of treatment centers across the country. It doesn't say that. What it says is what? It says that we go inside. It says that we take a look at our own character defects that sometimes are called wrongs. And sometimes it's called the insanity of step 2. It's what causes the unmanageability of step 1. But it says to go inside. All of the steps in their own way focus on our character defects. Why? Because character defects create spiritual bankruptcy. Character defects, whatever they are, the core of them are these values that spiritual bankruptcy is based on. Working the steps is the antidote to the character defects that are based in these values that create the spiritual bankruptcy. As we work the steps, as we continue to work the steps, slowly we change from these sets of values over to these sets of values. And that's where recovery is.